I was one of those probably, 20 years ago that said, there's just a group of people out there that just want to break the law, don't want to support their kids, don't want to support their families.
That's what Kevin Gay used to think until the Florida businessman started working with struggling communities and came face to face with those who had been behind bars.
Most of these folks coming home, aren't coming home going, gosh, I want to go back out and break the law again and I want to become a big drug dealer. It's really is that, I had one strike against me early on and then nobody wants to hire me.
Sue Ellen Allen understands that after serving time in Arizona State Prison for securities fraud, but she says she was lucky.
I was a pretty confident woman when I went into prison. I was 57 years old. I'd had, was a college educated, well-traveled woman. I was told over and over with all the women there that nobody cares about you. And you were expected to walk out the door, the gate, and suddenly jump right into society.
Allen went back to prison, but this time to teach women how to be successful.
It's starting inside the prison and then giving them that bridge before they get out. It's not saying we're going to do all this for you once you get out, and by the way, you have to pay your rent, and by the way, you have to pound the payment to get your job.
Add to that the stigma of having a record, and getting back on your feet is even more difficult.
You've paid your debt to society, you've done something bad, and now you're going to become a productive member of society. That's greatly diminished if you have this ball and chain that's always following you around.
Allen knows what that feels like.
You can move on with your life, you can try to move on, but you always have to check the box. It never goes away. The idea of serving your time and paying your debt to society never ends.
Advocates who call for reform of the revolving door of prisons say it makes economic sense.
We know we're spending $80 billion a year incarcerating folks. If, in fact, we had smarter sentencing, we thought about how we're dealing with drug offenses more intelligently, we are working on evidence-based approaches to rehabilitation, reducing recidivism, and that leads us to save money that then in turn we can put on the streets to have a greater police presence, to cultivate better community police relations.
Gay says we need to have smart justice and break the cycle of recidivism.
Most countries are smart enough to say, look, we have somebody that broke the law, they're 7 times more likely to stay in the cycle of breaking the law. So don't you think we should be focusing our energies in trying to mitigate those folks from having to come back?
For Allen, it is more than breaking a cycle. It is breaking a barrier that separates inmates from the rest of the world.
I feel very connected. It's not them or us, it's us. And the problem is that in our world, in America, it is them or us. We are the them. We are the others that nobody wants to acknowledge. And I'm part of that now.